High back bucket seats are safer, but as you know, I purchased these for Slade, and he said that he wanted the low back seats, and that's why I got them.
Welcome back to the community, everybody, and thank you for being part of it. This week we have Heather stepping in, which she will be doing a lot more with me. She's going to try to reboot her channel, so she's going to step in when she can. If you've noticed, if you've paid attention and you've been with me for a while, I do Friday videos around 11, 12 o'clock. They're getting switched to Sundays. We're going to try that out for a change. There's a lot of reasons why I've checked into that. So today we are going to go ahead and we're going to do vintage car safety. This is something we all need to know about. I am working on the car in the background, so I'm going to splice a bunch of videos together for the following week so we can get back on the car work. Okay, time for vintage safety?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Bam. Now, first things first, as you all know, the car starts with the key and the ignition. One of the biggest features that we can use to deter from theft, because we're going over theft over the first few things here, is a kill switch. Now, there's not too many places to hide them in a Beetle due to the way the interior is set up, but you can still hide a kill switch if you would like to. That way it kills all the power and it keeps people from being able to get in and hotwire these. They're really not a hard car, even with all the vintage ones, whether you have a Falcon, a Nova, it don't matter. I can hotwire them quick, somebody else can. So a kill switch like you see here is what you would want to do, and it kills all the current. Just find a good hiding spot for it. This first few things are about theft.
A little more about safety from theft. As you can see here, these steering clubs that lock onto the steering wheel truly help and deter the common thief from trying to drive off with your vintage car. Now, common thief, amateur thief, however you want to put it, I'm sure the pros have better ways, but we're just trying to deter, amateurs. While some back up with a flatbed and tow your car away, that will definitely stop some of them. I don't know about all of them, but most of them. Okay, so another good thing for theft deterrent is alarm stickers. Now, they do sell them for homes and cars, and putting an alarm sticker like you see here will also deter some from attempting to even break into your car or steal your stereo or anything that's in your vehicle or your vehicle itself. And of course, an alarm system would be a great deterrent, again, for most situations.
Now, many of us don't like being tracked or traced of where we are or what we're doing, and I completely understand that. We have a lot of technology now, but this is another safety feature from theft that may help, is a transmitter. Now, you can put a transmitter on your car, and I don't know, some of them may have phone apps or what have you, and it can assist the police. Hide it very well, and then the car is transmitting a signal of where it's located. And that's important because when it ends up disappearing, if that horrifying thing would ever happen, you most likely can track down your car pretty fast and get your car back. It's just an idea.
Okay, just one more tip before we move on to car safety. So a dash cam, these are very nice. In today's society, being safe is a bit harder than it was years ago, whether you agree or not. A dash camera can be a big help. If an accident occurs, the cops can look at it. If some nasty person comes up to you and tries to do something, you have it on cam. It can also deter people from doing stupid things. So I like my dash cams, and a lot of people have been able to be proven innocent in a court of law because of them. Okay, another safety feature is roll bars. Now, I don't think they're pretty, but they're safe. So they make 4-point, as you can see here, and they make 6-point, as you can see here. They could make it a bit uncomfortable to get in and out of the car with the 6-point. I don't think I'd like that, but I guess if you're drag racing, it's for the good. But the 4-point still give great safety and you can get in and out easier, especially when welded in properly and in a very safe way. You're creating a much safer and secure cage surrounding you. Make sure to use padding around the bars in case you bump your stupid head.
Now, this is a really great safety feature and upgrade for cars all across the board. I even had a 71 Valiant that had 4-wheel drum. That wasn't fun to stop no matter what. Chevelle's, Nova's, Heather's 74 Nova had 4-wheel drum. So a nice thing to do is to switch to disc brakes. Now you can go ahead and just do the fronts if you want, and they do sell a residual valve to put more pressure to the back drums to keep pressure back there. So when you hit the brakes, they all equally apply, but the disc, you know, mostly in the front where your stopping power is, there's a big difference with that. Now you can also put rear disc on where you have 4-wheel disc. Now that is probably the best that you can do with any of our vintage cars, but especially the Beetles. So they do sell 4-wheel disc brake kits. I get a lot of my stuff like that from Misty at the VW store. And I even installed a disc brake system on a friend's car, as you can see here. Let's go ahead and get the little C-clip, and everything is hooked up, of course. Pedal is nice and firm. And the nice thing about these disc brakes is it stops even. It's not pulling side to side. It's actually really nice. We're gonna do a hard stop here, so hold on to your butt. I wanna see something. Oh yeah, that stops a lot faster.
Kids are a lot safer in my neighborhood now.
And it was very easy to do. I have videos on that, but going over to front disc is even a huge bonus. Going over to 4-wheel disc is a bigger bonus. We need that stopping power, and we need it now, not yesterday. So that is a nice upgrade for vintage cars for safety reasons.
Okay, now on to bumpers. Now for the Beetles, they do make Nerf bars and T-bars. While they look nice, it's still a good idea to use the actual bumpers. Okay, here is an original bumper from a Beetle. I know they're not big and strong like the older vintage cars. However, you can reinforce them to make them stronger.
Now, something else is our lighting. Now, I probably won't upgrade to LED, or I may. I won't know until I get on the road again. It's been a little while. Do the LED lights make a huge difference? Yes. In today's society, people aren't as cautious as they used to be years ago. It is what it is. We live in a different time now. And our taillights and our headlights aren't what they used to be compared to now. You can buy an LED upgraded version for the headlights. And you can also buy an LED brake light system, so that people, it just, boom, it hits them in the face technically, where they can see that, you know, you are stopping. Some of our lights, the old 1157 bulbs, aren't that bright. They were years ago, but now they're not. And it's also a good idea to add a third brake light if you don't mind doing that to your car. It will make a big difference because most people are riding around with their phone in their face. At least maybe they'll catch that lighting up. So that's another good added feature.
Okay, let's talk tires. The factory tires on most vintage cars, especially on Beetles, are very narrow, skinny. You don't have very much tread on the ground, but when you go to a wider tire in a safe way, it puts more rubber on the ground and better handling and especially better stopping power. Okay, let's talk about seats. High back bucket seats are safer. But as you know, I purchased these for Slade. And he said that he wanted the low back seats, and that's why I got them. But are they safer? No. And the reason these are not as safe is if you're going down the road and you got an impact from behind, your head's going to snap back, where the high back seats are going to protect that, and your neck won't bounce back. While I must admit that the high back bucket seats are a safer option in case of a rear end collision, I think that the high back seats, while not as vintage looking, help with a safer option.
All right. Another thing with vintage cars is fire. Okay. I'm not saying newer cars don't catch on fire, because we know they do. Some of the battery ones and some gas ones, I guess. But especially our old air-cooled ones. And I won't get into a whole thing. I put a video up about fire prevention. Yeah, that one. However, fire extinguisher. Make sure to carry one in your car. You can put it on a bracket and brace it behind the seat or wherever you need it to be. They also do sell, I think it's called the Blaze system, I'm pretty sure. And that would kill out a fire immediately in your engine compartment, because that's usually where it starts, obviously. So fire safety is a big thing with vintage cars, no matter what kind you own. But in the air-cooled ones, they do sell that system, which can probably be adapted to most vehicles. So fire safety is a really big thing, especially in the vintage cars. Now, I'm not going to pull mine out, but sway bars, yes, they will help and give you a little bit more of a safety factor. They do sell a heavy-duty sway bar to get away from the factory ones, to make that a little bit tighter so you don't have as much lean. Also in the back, when you're dealing with swing axles, if you remember, and even the IRS versus swing axle, the swing axles, if you remember, Nader with the Corvairs, them flipping over the whole ordeal, you can run a camber compensator. And it will help immensely from preventing you from rolling over on a bend. I know when I'm alone in the car, and especially these vintage cars, I hook bends hard. I act like an idiot. I admit it. However, you can use a camber compensator, and it will help greatly with the swing axles. And with the IRS, independent rear suspension, which they all are, I know everybody's going to fight over that, you can also put a heavy-duty sway bar in the back to help prevent those issues. And also, caster shims. I also did a video on that. Caster shims can help when you're going down the road at 65 miles an hour, especially in the Beetles with the light front end, and this is what we're talking about right now specifically, is the old air-cooled Beetles. Your front end starts wandering all over the place. And I won't get into a big detail on it because I did do a whole video on this. But caster shims go behind the beam, and it helps a lot. If you want, go ahead and check out the video in the playlist. The caster shims, to me, is a nice safety feature. It helps the steering out a lot because of the camber and things of that nature.
Okay, let's talk about seat belts. So while most vintage cars have lap belts, over the years, most vehicles later on went to the 3-point seat belts where they came across. If you do have lap belts, switching over to 3-point seat belts is not a bad idea to protect yourself much better in case of an impact. So instead of just the lap belt, you would have, the cross belt. So that's a 3-point seat belt.
Now, we know nothing is foolproof. When you're out on the road and you're doing 40, 50 mile an hour, things can go wrong really fast. The best thing to do is obviously pay attention. We don't have airbags in our vintage cars. We don't have special supports or breakaway points, now where they break away and the engine goes underneath the car, things of that nature. But that is quite a few things that you can run over your list and think, maybe this would help keep me a little bit safer. And you'll feel a little bit better, driving down the road then. I don't think that the padded dash really helped out that much. We are retaining a metal dash look on this one, which you'll be seeing very shortly, because I did go through Heritage, who's over in the UK, and I bought the vents needed for when you remove your padded dash. So that was the final decision when I start buying parts like that. But honestly, you do the best you can to keep safe. But our vintage cars, whether it's a Nova, Chevelle, Valiant, Corvair, it don't matter. We don't have the safety features that they do today. So you do the best that you can do. That's why Heather and I did a brief summary on things to help you out. Now, something special, I really want Heather to read to you. I'm going to have Heather read something to you, and we're at the end of the video now, so if you have to leave and you get impatient, go ahead. A club member sent something to me that I thought was really nice. It's a poem about the Beetle from 1973. Jeff sent this to me, and his friend Dale, I guess, had wrote it in 1973. And I just thought it was really something nice that I wanted Heather to read. So I'm going to have Heather read this poem to you, and I thank Jeff for sending this in. And if Dale ever gets to see this, and I won't give last names, thank you. That was beautiful. I'm going to have Heather read this, and I'll be right back.
Okay, guys, I'm going to read you a poem. It's called The Bug. It was sent in by Jeff, and it was written by his friend Dale in June of 1973. It started quite a while ago, this thing they call the bug. It became a household item as common as a bathroom rug. Its need grew rather slowly, but on a steady route, and its future is bright and shiny, a fact without a doubt. Some say it is ugly, and I agree it is not the best looking thing around, but for some unexplained reason, you see more and more of them in town. They come in various shapes, colors, and different sizes, and as the value of the dollar falls, its popularity rises. It lives on nothing but the desire to do what you ask it to do. And the people who are in love with it, why, they number quite a few. Some of them, they pamper it, and some they treat it bad, but covered with their security blanket, they never come up sad. Now, I admit that there are some who say that it's not a good thing, but its contribution to man in the halls of history will hang. And no white knight in a big luxury chariot will ever slay this dragon, because it is made of dependable strength. This bug is made by Volkswagen. Very cool.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Heather did a great job. And thank you, Jeff, for sending that in.
That was beautiful.
And Dale, sir, if you are seeing this video, that was absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much. I love when folks share realistic things from the past, especially when it's with our hobby cars or our daily drivers. I just think that's amazing.
It is.
I really do.
It's fun.
And I did ask his permission, if I could read it, and he said that would be perfectly fine. He wasn't looking for an audience. He just wanted to share that with me. And again, Jeff, thank you very much for the wonderful donation to the channel. That was very nice of you to do.
Absolutely.
And very much appreciated. Okay, what's coming up? So I hope everybody had a really amazing Sunday. And I know that they're probably wondering, why is this up on a Sunday? I have switched from Fridays to Sundays. Okay, and we're going to see how it works for people seeing the videos more. Don't forget to hit the like button, please. That helps the algorithm so much. And leave comments. I love seeing comments. A lot more people do now. So we're going to get back on the car now. I had a couple little bumps I had to take care of. Remember, this is real life. This is an MGM. So I had to get a couple other things taken care of. Because you know what's coming up? Yeah, that.
A picnic.
Please show up for the picnic. I've got people coming from Wisconsin to Pennsylvania, from Florida, all over the place.
Yep.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be fun. If you need any information that the flyer doesn't give you, you can reach out to one of us.
Yeah, absolutely. My email is in the About section here, and also our Facebook group. That one. Go ahead and join there. But I'll put the flyer up at the end of this so you can take a picture of it or screen cap it if need be. But it's crunch time. I got till July 12th to be driving this to Derry, Pennsylvania for a second event. And Dan from VW Trends Magazine So VW Trends Magazine more than likely is going to be at the show, along with all you great people. Let's make it a big year. It's the second annual one. Okay, we will see you next Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern for our live chat. And I will see you next Sunday again for our weekly video.